Welcome everyone to Markets in a Minute. Thanks for watching. The Markets in a Minute is a quick little hit on markets that I feel had some sort of interesting move on the day, and we take a deeper dive into those, trying to keep it to a minute or less per market. Today's 5 markets are going to be a little spread out. We got cotton, orange juice, crude oil, and then over in the financials we have the S&Ps and the long bonds. So let's roll up our sleeves and get started. Okay, here's today's quotes. Here's what happened today. We had corn a little lower, so were soybeans. Wheat about steady. And then if we work our way down, we'll get down to the softs. And here's what I want to key in on right now. Cotton futures, March delivery down 165. Right there. Okay, and this is what the chart looks like, and this is why I think it's interesting. We've had 5 days in a row of pretty negative candlesticks there, and yesterday we came really close to making new lows for this swing, but today we really pummeled to the downside. So there's some acceleration to the downside in cotton, which is kind of interesting. A few reasons in the mix of many would be that global economic concerns, obviously. We have the cotton consumption side of that equation that's in question, and obviously China being a big player in the cotton market, and our issues with China right now in terms of the trade dispute is not helping. So this market's on a pretty good tier to the downside. Keep an eye on that one. The next one would be crude oil. If we skip into the energies down here towards the bottom and bring it up here in blue, down 212 a barrel to 46.05. This is the February crude delivery. And as you can see, we all know this market's been on a pretty good slide all the way from 76 back in early October down to what we thought was a low a couple of days ago. But a little consolidation yesterday and some more follow through today. And lo and behold, we have a new swing low of $45.67. So this market still on the decline here. Stocks here in the United States, per the latest numbers from the EIA, are still almost 5 bigger than last year, and then also for the 5-year average we're sitting about 28 higher. So the in terms of quantity, ample out here in the United States, and obviously with the markets falling down like they have relatively recently, you've got this macroeconomic concern that there's a general slowdown there, which could do away with a bit of the consumption, or at least ding a bit of the consumption demand side for crude. Here we have it, new swing lows today. So the next one I want to take a look at is orange juice. January OJ. This is the frozen concentrated orange juice futures contract. It traded at the ICE. It also has had a big slide in price from about $1.70 a pound down to $1.32 recently in mid-November. Had a bit of a bounce, bit of a recovery there, and big slide down to $1.28 today for a new swing low. So that's why it looks interesting. Yesterday you would have thought maybe we'll get a retest of the low, and we did. But not necessarily a big slide through it like we did, and we got down to 128. So a pretty big break. I mean, it was 136-ish at yesterday's settlement, got down to 128. So that's an 8-cent break from yesterday's close to the low today. And a couple things with OJ. I mean, obviously here in the United States, we've got a pretty good recovery going on in terms of production. So there seems to not necessarily be an ample amount around the world, but let's just say at this point, it seems like there's ample amounts, at least here in the United States, and that's helping to erode prices. So there we are with the 3 commodities there, that being cotton, crude, and OJ. All right, so those are kind of interesting. Pushing into new swing lows there. And then if we hop over to the financials, the next two, S&Ps and the long bond, anybody who's watching any kind of news knows the market's been on a pretty good slide. And today we accelerated to the downside yet again, pushing into new swing lows, getting down to about 2440 in the S&Ps. And obviously, if I bring up the Dow futures or the NASDAQ futures or the Russell 2000 futures, it's all going to be similar. So I just happened to pick on one of the markets here, that being the S&Ps. And clearly, with a feel like there's a global slowdown, some gleaning of expectations from the announcement from the Fed, pulling away one interest rate hike for next year. It used to be 3, now it's down to 2. That's just giving a little bit of chills down the back of the marketplace, saying, hey, maybe they know more than we know, so maybe things aren't as rosy as they could be, and we're starting to see a little bit of repricing of the equity markets in general. Interesting, just a quick little aside, is as long as I've been doing this, which has been a fair amount of time, the holidays tend to be a bullish time frame for equity markets, and this clearly doesn't seem to be sizing up to be one of those cases. So that's where we're at. So 5 interesting markets: cotton, orange juice, crude, S&Ps, and last one is the bonds. So with the Fed announcement yesterday, we have a new swing high last night of 146 even. Obviously taken away one interest rate hike was bit of a surprise to the market, and that's why we had a big pop yesterday. Was able to eke into a new swing high and then kind of fell back. So a bit of a bearish close on the day. We'll see if this market has much follow through over the next couple. Okay. If anybody has any questions, comments, or anything of interest, or would like to talk about how to strategize in these markets and maybe take advantage of an opportunity they might see, I'd be happy to discuss that with you. Until then, we'll leave it there.